if you go by subway, watch out, there are these poor people, beggars, etc., who come along and sell a newspaper. It's called MOTZ, M-O-T-Z. And they are these are the poor of the poor, but they have an organization and they produce newspaper. And the one that they just publish now, and I have to find where I have this, is all on these stumbling stones. And you should try to find that when you go to the subway, to find these people where they live. I have to ask. Okay, before you leave, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
What did I want to say about this? Maybe that's it. Well, that's.
So, well, a lot of questions you have answered without needing to ask. So it's so good. Thank you. So, I have some questions. So, like.
Which one?
For example, what that one? No? About the wall. The wall.
Yes.
About the wall.
About the wall.
And what did you thought about it when you knew it? When you knew the. Did you went to the wall to see it or something?
Well, the wall is a horrible story, right? And the city, this was in 1962, and the city is not anymore. It was not the same anymore after that. The whole climate was changed dramatically, and it took a long time until people got used to that. And I got used to it. I didn't get used to it actually. But the history of this wall was that the DDR lost a lot of people, their best people, but that's their fault that they lose them. Doctors and technicians, they left. The West was more attractive, and why should they bother to be there under the dictatorship of the DDR? So they left. I was never tempted since I was already in the West since 1948. But we all suffered from that because after about 10 years one got somehow used to it, but always with a bad feeling. But I have to say that this might sound now strange when I put it that way. When the wall came down, that night I cried all night. Why? Because I realized what up in your consciousness or subconsciousness, how that weighed on you all the time. I don't know whether I put that properly. That this was such a weight on you that we have that wall, that you're walled into the city of Berlin, right? Wherever you go, there was these watchtowers, etc. And you can say, okay, I don't look there, but it was the presence of the wall was always felt. I didn't realize myself how much I suffered from it. That's why I'm mentioning it. Yeah, I suffered from this without being aware of it. I thought, okay, I have to live with that, and one day when it come down, I always knew that it was not going to last forever. Therefore, I am not enough of a historian to know that these kind of things do not last. The Palestinian-Israeli wall will not last. That might take another 10 years, but I will still see probably the fall of that wall. And I knew that also for our wall here. But it's one thing to say historically one day it will come down, there's another thing every day to live it. And we did go to the east. I went very often to the theater. They had very good theater. But then at a certain point they didn't let me in anymore because they didn't like left-wing people to go to the east. They wanted, the DDR wanted to, as an interlocutor, how you say that, as of their partners, business people, big shot politicians, and bourgeois people with whom to do business. Right? They were not interested in people like myself who do not want to do business with the DDR. You know, we were sort of subversive, how do you say that? We were really dangerous to them. You know, they never received the Greens, for example. The Greens were then still green and left.
Yeah.
But they didn't like the Greens to do it. They liked to have the right-wing or conservative political class. And so at one point, for one reason or another, I don't know which one it was, then they said they didn't let me in anymore. Because when you have to go there to show your passport, and you say, look at your earlobe, you know, they're just very unpleasant, you know, and you have to empty out your pockets, you know, that you don't have any East German money, because you can get here East German money for 1 to 4. So you have to empty out your pocket, and so it's a very unpleasant experience at the time. But you know, one got somehow used to it. But the irony was, when the wall was built, they called themselves the progressive DDR's people. They hoped that with the wall, that the DDR would become more reform-oriented. When people cannot leave anymore, they thought, then they would put their energy into changing the DDR. As long as you always have the chance to leave, then you don't bother to fight and reform the DDR. Once you cannot leave anymore, say, okay, now I have to stay here, and now I'll go to reform. But that logic did not apply. They built the wall, and it became as repressive as it was before, if not even worse. And then you had these many individual cases where they threw people out, etc., and let people go who were unpleasant. And they were all sort of left-wing people who they wanted to get rid of. So the wall is a long story, but you can read about it. There's enough being read about this. But it's amazing how quickly it has disappeared. You know, now people like you come and they say, "Where's the wall?" You know, they're disappointed in a way, you know, that you don't see it anymore. But we have now, they opened it recently, sort of a Mauer museum, a wall museum, where they reconstructed a little piece of Downauer Straße and all that. You know, I don't go there, I don't need that. But it has become, it's one of the ironies is that this horror wall has become a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's not quite like Auschwitz. Auschwitz is not yet a tourist attraction, but it is sort of to make museums out of horror.
Yeah. I know that people go there like they don't realize that all horrible things happened there.
Yeah.
Because I can see maybe some kids that are taking photographs like, yeah, I went here, but they don't realize what happened there, what horrible things.
Yeah.
In our way, it's good to know what happened here by going to the museums and try to remember that it's for them, for the students.
Yeah.
Try not to happen again.
Yeah.
And the things that could happen here in Germany or in Spain, because they have experiences.
People from the East, is that on your program?
Yes,
yeah.
People from the East, even a person whose father was executed because he was considered a betrayal. He tried to kill Hitler.
Yeah.
He was in the west part of Germany, but his family, his mother, and they were 3 children, were taken as betrayers too. here in the western part. And it was very shocking for me because it was not in the east part.
I didn't quite understand what you mean now. What was the shock?
Because I thought when the Nazi era finished, the people who wanted to kill Hitler weren't going to be considered betrayers.
Traitors?
Traitors, sorry. Traitors. Oh,
West
sorry.
or by the east?
Sorry.
By whom? Who
By the West people.
Yeah, it's possible, but usually they are proud of it. They say, we have a resistance person.
Exactly.
That's what it was shocking. Why it was shocking for me. And we have many experiences of the people from the east part.
Well, you will probably talk to some East Berliner people. It's not easy to come out and understand what they are really, where they stand. What I'm trying to say is, with the unification, we in the West, we have colonized the East. Right? We've taken over and looking down on them. Right? Or at least they feel that way. That we are what they call the Besserwessis, the Wessis, who know everything better, and we took their main jobs, etc., their good jobs, and therefore they feel, as I said, they feel colonized. We are the colonizers, the occupiers.
The West.
We occupy,
the
West.
The West feels that the East.
No, the West feels. They feel
that the West
is colonizing them.
But
takes away their good jobs.
But they also had more money than...
For whatever reasons, but whatever the truth is or not. But they feel that way, they have an inferiority complex this way. And they have many good cases. Today, we're discussing here, for example, not only unemployment, they had never had unemployment.
Yes.
But also they had a very good system of children's care, kindergarten.
Yes.
That the West has put away. Now it's very difficult to find kindergarten for your children. In the East, they had them all the time. So many of these what you call social acquisitions or social achievements, in the East. Are not being recognized by the West, and for them, many of these things they are worse off now than they were before.
It's true. Some
at
people
least
feel that way.
in their subjective perception.
Sure.
Not necessarily the
reality.
Of course, they are happy that they can finally visit Rome, for example, and now never could that before. But that's not enough, and one has to be very sensitive to find out what they really, how they see unification.
Exactly.
Yes.
The longer we last, it lasts now. It's now 20 years. I mean, time is running out. The less urgent it becomes, the less dramatic it is. But it is still there. We have a party that nobody wants to touch. The former Communist Party, because they're called Die Linke, the left, and most of their electors or voters are old, elderly people, who have a certain nostalgia for the time of the DDR, or former military people, for example, who believed in their job for whatever reasons I can't understand. But as I said, they feel we put them down. And, and there is an element of truth to that.
But they were also damaged. You have to understand by their experiences. So maybe it's not just that they feel put down by the West, but sort of psychological damaged. No matter who is probably better off than they are. No matter who it is. But because the West, you guys are so close and you were so different. Can I ask you, is your book in English? Has it been published in English? Oh, I wish
you can translate it and try to find a publisher.
Can you please tell me the name? Could
I'll
you
write
write
it
down
down.
the name?
I'll give you a leaflet and you can...
Would you? I want to read it. It sounds so interesting, no?